Hi everyone, welcome back to the Art of KCF. I am back with part 2 of the Studio Utopia thrift haul. We started with part 1 last time, and as I was just getting so involved in talking about everything, I realized that I needed to kind of cut things short. I needed to cut things short so that this content could maybe be a little bit more digestible for my audience. So I am back and ready to dive into that bag of goodies. If you recall, I had 2 plastic bags full of thrifted goods for my art practice in Studio Utopia. And we went through the first bag together, and today we'll be going through the second bag. But before I dive in, I wanted to just give a little bit of an update about some storage solutions that I've been trying to figure out for my studio. So, if you recall from last time, I got some needles for my sewing machine. Yeah, it just doesn't focus. I don't know how to make it focus. I got some needles for my sewing machine, and I want a really beautiful dish, a covered dish, to place these in. And I've been looking at antique shops and trying to figure out what to do in my sewing area to keep track of my needles for my machines. And I've been scouring thrift shops. I've been looking at antique stores. I don't want to pay more than $12. It's like my arbitrary price point that I've set for myself. But what has been happening is I'm just not finding anything that really suits me. So I did have this one aha moment thinking about how to not go into overconsumption mode. And even though I'm thrifting, I still really want to be mindful of how much I'm bringing into my studio. I don't want to just collect to collect. I want to be really intentional about what I bring in here. So thinking about that idea of overconsumption or underconsumption, and how that also is a resistance strategy toward not putting things into the landfill, and trying to address some of the systemic ways in which we as people who are living in the US are conditioned to just amass things. So I thought, what if I look at my own collection already and see if I have anything that might be able to suit my needs? So I did come up with an idea, and you might see these all the time. They're these precious little glass dishes that have a hen on the top, which serves as the lid. And so I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get these to fit inside here. As you can see, it's a little too big. So I don't know if maybe I'm gonna cut down the cards and fold them in half to get them in here, but maybe that'll be in the next video. I will show what my solution is to get these to fit in here, because this would be so cute to have just sitting on my fabric sorter area of my studio. So there's that quick update about that. Now let's dive into the thrift haul. I'm really excited because, like before, I haven't seen what's in this bag. And so I'll be kind of re-experiencing it with you all as I am opening the bag. Gotta save this receipt for my studio assistant so that I can get my expenses tracked. Okay, what have we here? All right, this little package was $1.99. Oh dear, I forgot my scissors again. Hold on, 1 minute. I'm back. I really like saving these bags for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just think they can be really useful in the studio. Save that bag for later. Oh my gosh. And what do we have here? So we have we have 4 frames of little perfect for your needlecraft projects, so that you can frame like a tiny little cross stitch, which I love to do and collect. So I'm really excited about this. I have no idea what I will put inside, but these will come in real handy. And the fun thing is that I paid the same price as was listed on these original little frames at the thrift store. But you know what? They're going to a good home and they will be put to use here in Studio Utopia. This bag seems to be a lot of cross-stitch related things. And side note, I was just recently asked by my local library to put together a cross-stitch class for adults, people who both have and maybe want to expand their skills cross-stitching, and people who have never cross-stitched before. So I'm really excited. It's underway. I don't know if it has been officially, it's not officially like scheduled, and there's some grant funding that we need to get to be able to launch it, but I'll keep you updated, especially if you're local and want to be a part of learning how to cross stitch. I'm your guy. Okay, so this whole bag that I'm pulling out right now was $1.99 at the thrift store. So $2 got me a fabric swatch of Adia, I don't know how you say this, Ada cloth. Ada cloth is the cloth that we use in cross stitch for counted cross stitch, and you can kind of see, hopefully you can, no, it's not gonna focus. I will figure out how to do that. If you know, like, let me know in the comments. Anyways, counted cross stitch. This is a 14 count, which means there's 14 squares per inch in this piece of fabric. And these are usually much bigger, so somebody obviously used this for a project. But when you cross stitch, you don't need very much. So like, as you can see, the amount of cloth here would be enough to fill the 4 little tiny frames that I also thrifted. So you can kind of see that there's some holes in here, so that's where you bring your needle in and out when you're cross stitching. And I always like to pick this up at the thrift store because this can actually become quite pricey if you're buying it right now. And this can be dyed, so you can change these colors to any color you want, especially if you pick up more of a neutral base. But I like to have a variety of colors because you never know what color background you might need to add to a painting. So I don't currently have any of this like light blue in my stash. So this will be added to my cross stitch fabric area where I will have it when it's time to add into a painting. Let's see, what else is in here? Oh, fun. I have no idea why this was in here, but there is a, it's like a tracker for stitching. So on the back, it has the DMC, which is the type of, it's the brand that makes 6-strand embroidery floss that a lot of people use for cross stitch. And on the back, it's got like a color chart here so that you can check off which colors you have and what you don't have, maybe. And this has been filled out. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with it. I might save this for scrapbooking or junk booking, or I might go ahead and put this in the recycle bin. There is a thread count per inch, stitch count in length and width chart on this side that could be helpful, but I have never in my life found a reason to need this, unless, this is why this would be important, is if you're putting together a cross-stitch kit and you're pulling out the thread that's needed to complete the design for your project. So who knows, maybe this will come in handy. I didn't know I needed it, and I got it in this little grab bag. Okay, how fun is this? Not only did that little piece of paper come with this, but we've also got a cross-stitch pattern. When you need real understanding, when you need someone to care, when you need someone to see you through, Dad is always there. Oh, and it says Dad in cross stitch up here. How precious. This is really fun. Also, what's fun, and this is why I really like old patterns, is you can see that there is a duck on each of the corners here. That could be a really fun little pattern to just do and throw into one of these frames. You never know what you're gonna get when you go to the thrift store. And obviously here, I've got some treasures that I didn't even know were coming my way. So these little ducks, I can pick the different color that I might want to use when I make those. This is just something else, isn't it? Let's see. I wonder if somebody made it now. Well, maybe. Let's see. There's 2 more pieces of fabric in here. Let's see what else we've got. Okay. Well, I wonder if they were going to do the dad design here and then they abandoned. Not sure, but this is really nice counted cross stitch cloth. Hard part about this is that I will have to do a little bit of measuring myself to see how many stitches I can fit in each square inch. But it's a really fun deckled, is that what it would be called? Speckled pattern. Kind of reminds me of like an oatmeal color as the base with some darker flecks in there, and this will be added to my cross-stitch fabric stash in case I need to make something. Oh wow, and now we actually do have some found cross-stitch. A little precious moment. Now this is so great because I am currently making a body of work that are referencing my childhood bedrooms, and I definitely grew up in the era where like precious moments were a true moment. I don't know if that was also you, but in like the 80s and 90s, you'd go to the knick-knack store just to like collect these bad boys. So the painting behind me already has a found cross-stitch element in it, but this one might make it in, especially because it's on such a nice giant piece of fabric here. And it's matching the quilted squares that I also found that are going to be incorporated in this painting. So really great find. This little white boy might be showing up in my painting here sooner than later. I told you this one was real cross stitch related. All right, we also have a counted cross stitch Daydreams kit with real glass and a designer mat, and it's an 8x8 square of this like interesting kit. Let's see if it gives us any more information here. Oh, it was copyrighted in 2000. So, you know, just a little early 2000 reminiscence here for us. Take a moment for yourself. And the fact that it's in Spanish, English, and French makes me think that this might have been a Canadian project that just somehow made its way across the border. But what we have in here is a really nicely done cross stitch. Look at this. Wow. The stitcher that made this did a really nice job. Like, look at how good the back is. I might have to do it backside out. I love the backside of a cross stitch, but front's also real cute. And as you can see, some biblical themes, which is real resonant for the project that I'm working on here with my childhood bedrooms. I'm making a Trinity-like series of tapestries as well. And one has a sheep in it, so very resonant. Okay, this is also in the kit. It's a piece of glass that's 8 by 8. It's wrapped up still. This must be the backing. And here is the mat for the little cross stitch. Look at that. How fancy. Easy weekend project, it says. What makes me kind of sad when I'm at the thrift store and I find something like this is thinking about the person who made this and how it ended up in the thrift store. Like the fact that she likely finished this but didn't actually ever get it framed all the way, even though like all the parts were here, just really kind of makes me sad. How did it end up at the thrift store? But that's why I like to try to give them second life. And so sewing them into a painting helps me feel like this hard work, I mean, this was hours of work, even if it was just a quick weekend project, this took somebody some time. And part of what I really like to do in my studio is try to figure out ways to visually represent the amount of labor that is involved in these types of pieces. So when you cross stitch, it's hours worth of work, or when you're quilting, it's hours worth of labor. And for whatever reason, which there are many, but that's not for this video, we really devalue women's labor in this world. And this is my small part to try to remind us of that labor somehow. So the ongoing purpose of what I've been trying to do in my studio. Okay, we have reached what I think is the end of this bag of treats. Let me just pop this open. It is another cross-stitch bag that was in this big Ziploc baggie. 99 cents. So great price points at the thrift. And first up is this little tool. So if you have never seen one of these, this is really helpful. You can see that it is a domed piece of plexiglass with a line in it. And this is really nice for keeping track of where you are in your counted cross stitch. So let me show you how this works if you're not familiar. I love teaching, if you couldn't tell. So say you have your pattern like this and you're working on this little duck. When you put this piece on top, you can use it to line up and keep your place for where you are in your pattern. And then you would like either move it or like, you know, keep it like this so that you know which crosses you're supposed to be making at what point in your pattern. Really 99 cents. What do we have here? A cross stitcher's quilt block collection in this cute little plastic holder. They are these precious cards that have quilt designs on them, ready for you to add to a Aida cloth of your choice. These are really pretty. Let's see. They're pretty big, and these would be the size that they would end up, so you could make your own cross-stitched blocks for different quilts. Well, this is going to come in real handy. Look at this cute little farmhouse. I will definitely be using these as design inspiration 4 quilts. There's like fun little quotes on all of these. When the well's dry, we know the worth of water, by Benjamin Franklin, allegedly. Art is the only way to run away without leaving home, Twyla Tharp. It's fun. So not only do you get a pattern with some ideas on like different colored thread that you might want to use, but you get a quote. What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything? Vincent van Gogh. Well, that is just treasure. I don't know where I'm going to keep these in the studio, but I feel like these should be somewhere prominent so that I remember that I have this collection. They're on nice weighted paper, glossy, yet, you know, a thicker weight. So they are more of like a card style. Ah, so fun. I don't know how many there are. Copyright 1989. What a treasure! What a treasure. I'm really excited about these. Actually, if you couldn't tell, I tend to be kind of excitable. But let me put these back in their cute little pouch. That's from 1989. Is that what I said? And I'm going to put these somewhere cute in the studio so that I remember that I have access to these. All right, signing off for real this time. I forgot that I had these and I restarted the video, but in the event that I decide not to use the previous sign off, I'll use this one maybe. Thanks so much for joining me on this tour of my thrift haul from Studio Utopia. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all of the ins and outs of the creative life of the Art of KCF, which is me, Candace. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.